Will now be recorded.
Hey guys, welcome to the weekly watch list. And we have a big week ahead of us. Yes, we have a lot going on. So Monday, nothing's going to be going on, but Tuesday, we have the Schiller Home Price Index and Consumer Confidence Index as well, and pending home sales. So that's going to be interesting. Those are going to be 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So pretty early in the morning for the market. Right at open, the Schiller home prices, and then an hour later, consumer confidence and pending home sales. Now, Monday and Tuesday, well, Tuesday, depending on what those indicators say, could be a little volatile. If they're good, then market's going to go higher. Now, Monday shouldn't have anything really too much. We should be going higher, if not potentially staying above range on Monday. I think we go higher Monday because of China's news over the weekend saying that they're making progress on the phase one deal. So that was good. Markets liked it. So I think that markets are going to continue and follow through into Monday. So Wednesday, very important. We have GDP, gross domestic product, at 8:30 a.m. right before the market opens. So about 30 minutes before the market opens. And then we have the FOMC announcement signaling that they're going to start their meeting. And then at 2:30, Jerome Powell's press conference. Now, he shouldn't say too much of anything, but every time he speaks, the market reacts. So the market reacts on anything that he can say, positive, negative, whatever they're filling out, that could be volatile. Thursday is, Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Jerome Powell's press conference. I'm sorry, I was thinking about something else. That is important. Sorry about that. That is important. That is when he's going to speak. I forgot that was the 30th. I thought the 30th was Thursday, but no, Wednesday is the 30th. It's Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Jerome Powell speaks. That is going to be very important. And right before then, 2 p.m., FOMC announces the federal rate cut or not. I'm sorry, on Tuesday, the day before is when they announce the meetings. So the meetings start on Tuesday. Sorry, I'm all over the place. It's late at night. I haven't got too much slept this weekend. So Tuesday, they announce they're going to have their meetings. Then on Wednesday, we have GDP, which is very important. Then we have FOMC announcement, the rate cuts or not, rate cut or rate increase or staying flat, or if they're gonna do any future ones. Then 2:30, Jerome Powell speaks. Now at 2 p.m., if we get a 0.25 basis points cut and they say they won't cut anymore, then the market's gonna pop and drop. Now, if they don't cut at all and say they're not going to cut, then the market's going to drop. Okay. If they cut 0.50 basis points, which is not a high probability, then the markets will, surge. So it all really depends on what Jerome Powell says at 2:30. And if they're leaning towards additional cuts or not. They're going to be open. It depends on what language they use. If they're going to be open or if they're not going to be open. Okay. Thursday, we have weekly jobless claims. In the morning, before the market opens, employment cost index before the market opens, personal income, consumer spending, core inflation. Those are important. So especially consumer spending and core inflation. That's gonna be, I mean, weekly jobless claims as well. All those come out at 8:30 before on Thursday. Now, Wednesday, we also have Apple's earnings after the close. So that's gonna, affect the market as well. This week also we have Facebook's earnings. Okay, and I'll get more into them when I go into the charts because I'm gonna analyze those for you guys. Now, Thursday, we have the core inflation's consumer spending, weekly jobless claims at 8:30 before the market opens, and then 9:45, about an hour into the market opens, we got Chicago PMI, and that's going to be important. That needs to be above 50 because that shows growth. Right now, the previous one was at 47. If we go 49, 50, that'll show growth, that we're growing. If we're below that, that's not good. That doesn't show growth. It shows stagnant, or if it's way below it, then that shows decreasing. So Friday, we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, market manufacturing PMI, that's important. Construction spending, that's important. ISM manufacturing index, that's important. All those come out around 10 a.m. Eastern time. So this is gonna be a very busy week. The last half of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is gonna be very volatile. And also Thursday is gonna be extremely volatile because not only do we get Jerome Powell speaking towards the end of the day on Wednesday, as we're gonna, if we don't have good news, we're gonna drop 400 points in the market. Okay. And on Thursday, after the Apple's earnings, we have the weekly jobless claims, unemployment cost index, consumer spending, core inflation, Chicago PMI, and Thursday we have mutual fund end of year. Okay, October 31st is the end of year for mutual funds. So they are going to be buying and selling a lot of shares, a lot of stocks. So it's going to be extremely volatile Thursday. So Wednesday's going to be volatile, Thursday's going to be volatile, and Friday, who knows? It might have a continuation or it might be flat because Wednesday and Thursday are going to be so volatile. I think Monday's going to be up, Tuesday maybe choppy, and then Wednesday, Thursday, volatile. Friday, it's going to be a continuation of whatever Thursday was, I believe. But with that said, I think that we still go higher. So we are in a rising wedge in the S&Ps, and we have plenty of room to the upside. And we have been stuck in this range here. This range here at about 30, I want to say. So about 30 range. Now, if we break above that 30 range, we're going to get a short squeeze up. And that short squeeze is going to push the market higher to 30.50, 30.60 area, which is going to be very good resistance. Now, I don't know if we stop there. I don't know if we stop there and we show weakness, then okay, we're gonna roll over possibly. Now, if we don't, we possibly could go to 30.75 and max overshoot. If we get an extremely hard short squeeze, we go to 3100, max overshoot before we pull back. And when we pull back, we're going to pull back nice. We're going to pull back to this uptrend here. Okay. I don't know if we're going to come here, but I know that we will come at least to this 2980 area to this uptrend here, because we still got room in this. So we're gonna pull back into this and then, you know, possibly consolidate and then break up or break down. So depending on what happens, you know, after that, if the phase one deal goes through and everything is good, Brexit's good, all these things are good, GDP's good, Fed's good, you know, whatever it is that needs to make it happen, we could definitely break out to the upside on this pattern. But for the time being, I don't think we're gonna break out to the upside. I think we could go to 3,100 on a short squeeze, but I think it will be a trap because we need that pullback. We need a pullback. So once we come up here, if we hit 3050, 3060 area and we keep going, then 3075 and 3100 are going to be targets. And then that's where I would be looking at hedging myself heavily in this zone. First, taking a look at 3050, 3060 area. If that doesn't stop, then 3075 and 3100. But this has plenty of room to the upside still, and I think that we'll get it Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday will be very choppy, but I think we'll get some more to the upside. Thursday, be very choppy. That might be the day we drop. I'm not sure. I think for Monday and Tuesday, we could definitely get to, by Tuesday, I think we could get to 3050, 3060 area. I think the days will be choppy, but I think that at the end of the day, they'll close it higher, if that makes sense. The day's going to be super choppy, possibly Tuesday, but they'll close it higher. Leading into the FOMC leading into the FOMC announcement and Jerome Powell's speech, markets are going to increase. And as they increase, I think that before the meeting, we should be in this area, 3050, 3060. If we're not in that area yet, I think the announcement will push us to that area. And if we are in that announcement already, then I would be looking to see if that announcement is going to push us to a short squeeze and push us higher to 3075, 3100, or if it's going to make us roll over. I think Thursday might be the day that it rolls over from the mutual fund year end, but could be wrong, could be sooner. But I still think we go higher into the week. And going into the hourly, we could see that we're at the lower end of that trend line, and we are hitting this 3029 level. Once we get above it and close above it, we're going to 36, and then my other target was 3045. I think it was 44 actually. It was about, yeah. So we should push on through to, I think Monday we should hit at least 3044, 3040, 3044 area, if not more. And then Tuesday, we should be in the 3050, 3060, but who knows? Monday, it could be in 3060, 3050, 3060 areas. Then the China news might have excited the markets, and the market's gonna just pop and keep going. So now let's go and look at some other charts. But I still think, you know, even if we get up here, I still think we come back and test this trend line again. Interesting pattern to notice. I've been noticing this in a lot of stocks. Is this low and then this higher low, right? So pay attention to that. Okay, that low and then higher low. It's kind of like a W sign, right? We go here. It's like a double bottom, but it's not. It's a double bottom with a higher low. Okay, and then we shoot on up. So we get bam, 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 bam. Okay, so watch this as I'm going to show you other stocks and the same patterns that I'm seeing all over the place. Okay, so let's take a look at NQ. So NQ is at the top of this resistance here, but once it breaks out of that resistance, it's going. I mean, it's already above 8,000. That's a major level here. If it gets above 8,100, it's going to 82 and then possibly 84. It's very, very bullish for the QQQs. Very, very bullish. And here we have the same pattern. Low, higher low, same exact pattern here. So we got that drop. Here and here. That W pattern. So I think that this formed a nice bull flag, and that bull flag's firing, and it's going to be going in 2000, no, not 2000, 8,211. So QQQs are going to start running. All right, then let's take a look at the Dow. Now the Dow still in this ascending triangle pattern here, and we have that same pattern here, 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 and here. So we got that higher low fire up pattern. So this is a bull flag here. I think the Dow Jones is going to break up. It's going to break on out. It's going to break out to 27,377 and then hit 27,756, and then see if it could close above that resistance. I think it's going to get above that resistance this week. I don't know if it's any close above it. I think before we close above it, I think we come back and maybe test this before we either break up or break down. But I do think we're going to get this breakout, this 27,080 level. I think that's going to break out either tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to happen. It should break out tomorrow, and we go higher in the Dow. And now let's take a look at, very important to take a look at TNX. I've showed you guys this before. TNX, yes, is a 10-year Treasury index. Okay, so I mapped this out for you guys before a couple weeks ago, and I was showing you guys every week that it was just falling. I remember I put this downtrending channel, and it broke it, and it hit this major support here at 1434, and it held it. So that's a good sign. Now, what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? What did I tell you guys to pay attention to? The first chart, that low, right? So we got that low, and then what do we have here? We have that higher low, okay? And if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that a lot better, right? We have that low and then that higher low. So what is that going to do? Right? Same pattern, same exact pattern that we're seeing everywhere. It's going to make that W sign, right? That breakout. Now, what does this matter? Well, this matters, and a big reason why this is happening is because the Fed's coming in and buying these, right? Well, they're buying bonds overnight, and the reason why they're buying bonds is because banks are the ones that are supposed to lend money to small businesses, us, people in general, consumers, so that we could go spend, grow the economy, spend money. But if banks think that individuals are not going to pay them back, or it's too risky to loan to small businesses or loan to people because they think the economy isn't going to be good, what do? They go into bonds because they get a guaranteed rate of return. Even though it's a small rate of return, they're going to get a guaranteed rate of return. So what does the Fed do? It buys up those bonds, because the more that it buys up, the lesser the return, the lesser the yield. So banks get a smaller return. So then it creates an incentive for the banks to go lend money out to the consumer, because they're going to get a better return than just putting it into bonds. So what does this have to do with the S&P? Well, when this was tanking, the TNX, this is pretty much the rate of return that the banks charge on credit cards, mortgage rates, all this stuff, right? It got to a low, okay? So now it's actually forming that higher low and also a cup and handle pattern. Now, we haven't broke out yet. We are forming a bull flag here, and we should push up towards the upper end. We need to get above this 50 SMA. Once we get above there, we should come test this 19 area. If we test that 19 area, which is very good resistance, we might get a little pullback, but we need to break this downtrend, this long-term downtrend. If we break that downtrend and this pushes up, then we could start another bull run in the S&Ps. Why is that? Because the Fed is going to make it so inconvenient for the banks to buy bonds that they're going to have to start pushing out money to small businesses, to individuals that want to, borrow money, put it in the market, whatever they want to do. But it's going to free up money into the economy, which is going to provide a stronger market. So I'm putting alert here, create alert here, and TNX breaking out, crosses above. Okay. So when this breaks out and this starts heading to 20, 22, 2185, which is that 200-day moving average, and we already see the W pattern, right? So it's a high probability it's going to break out. So the market's going to break out. Okay. Now, Does it just break out and go to 3,100 and then pull back? I don't know. We're going to have to see that when it comes. But this is a very strong indication that we will break out. If we break above this 19, okay? Now, what do I think is going to happen possibly? I think we're going to come to this 19, possibly pull back some, because it's very, very, very strong resistance, because it's not only this resistance here, but it's also this downtrend. And this downtrend is a multi-month downtrend, all the way back to, let me see, that high of 32 was on 11/8/18. So about a year. It's a year-old downtrend, but we're bottoming. This is what we call a bottom. When we make this low and we make a higher low like that, that is a bottom. So this, very good sign that the market can rally. So we come up here, we hit this area, we pull back, market pulls back, and then it's a buying opportunity, and then it rallies. Okay. All right. So in considering that there's a good possibility that the market's going to rally on to all-time highs and keep going after it has its pullback, right? It's going to have a good pullback, a 400 or 500 point pullback. Okay, maybe it happens Thursday, maybe it doesn't happen this week, maybe it happens next week. I don't know. From looking at all the charts, it looks like it's going to happen this week. So it might be Thursday, it might be Wednesday, it might be Friday. I don't know, but we're going to get a pullback, a nice, healthy pullback that's going to sell off very nicely, and then that's going to be a buying opportunity leading up into November. Okay. So, well, I mean, it depends on, the bond market. This could chop around here for a minute, kill some time, and then maybe, comes in the second week of November. But considering all the catalysts that are happening this week, we have to anticipate the pullback will be this week. The buying opportunity will be this week. So we get in our calls now for the S&Ps, make that money to 30.50, 30.60, 30.70, wherever it goes. Take that profit, flip it in puts, let it drop back, take that money, put it back in calls, and let it do its thing. Okay. As long as we see TNX breaking out, that's a good thing. Okay. As I posted earlier, TLT is in a bearish downtrending channel. Oops. So this one's heading down. Okay. So we want this one to head down. Okay. And it will. Once it loses that, it's going to head 135, 134. So this is definitely a short this week. All right. So now let's get into some specific stocks. NVDA. So NVDA, okay, let's look at that bottoming pattern. Okay, it had it here. That W. Boom. Bang, bang, boom. Okay, now where else are we seeing it now? Okay, we're seeing it again. Here, and I think it goes to 228.50 now. Okay, and if we go on the weekly, we can see it a lot better. We can see that, boom, boom. Actually, this one is so much bigger. This one is so much bigger. I think these goes about double, about that size. So if I duplicate, or I'm gonna duplicate this drawing, and I'm gonna actually duplicate it again. Okay. Put it here. I think NVIDIA could go to 270. 270. I think that would be double that move, around 270, 260, 270 area. So about a 60 to 70 area, I mean a 60 to 70 point move higher. I think earnings on NVIDIA are going to be very good. So pullback's going to happen before that. Whatever pullback happens in NVIDIA, I think that it's going to be a buying opportunity. It's breaking out of this channel. It's just too strong, too much buying power, too much buying volume. You know, I try to short this stock around here, considering that there was gaps and low volume, but then that volume came in, and it's just been coming in. We had a high volume day here. We had a high volume day here. Shorter term, we should be heading towards 213. Longer term, especially after earnings, we should be in the 230s. I think so, for earnings at least. So that's a long-term move. So whatever pullback happens on NVIDIA, which it just broke out of a bull flag, I think that it's going to go to 213. Any pullback, anything, any test of this channel, it's going to be buying opportunity. This one's going in 270, 230, 270, possibly breaking all-time high. Well, 270 would be breaking all-time highs. So 228 is already breaking. Wait, is it? No, it's not breaking. I'm sorry. 292 is all-time highs. So 270, I think we could go to 300 and possibly even higher if earnings blows it out the water. I'm not saying that we're going to, you know, on earnings report, we're going to go to 300. I'm just saying if it's showing good growth, oh, sorry about that, showing good growth and positive earnings, then like other semis are doing, then I think NVIDIA is going to be a nice runner and could go back above all-time highs, because I think it's one of the strongest semiconductor stocks out there and run by a very good team of CEOs and CFOs and all that good stuff. All right, so let's take a look at Apple. So Apple is breaking out of a weekly pattern, and that weekly target is 156, and it's also breaking out of a monthly pattern, and that monthly target is 272.64, and that second weekly target is 284.90. But the big target is at 322.46. And if the market does break out and we get that nice pullback to slingshot us higher, then I think by next year, I don't know, March maybe, mid-April, then we could definitely push on to 322. As long as the Fed and Trump do everything right, Fed does everything right, Trump does everything right with this China deal goes to phase 2 and they get that done, there's no doubt that Apple's going to be flying, NVIDIA is going to be flying. That's the only thing that's really setting this back, is the China deal. And if those go through, which it looks like it's progressing, hostilities down, no more threats. December is going to be interesting because those tariffs, are they going to be in effect or not? If the hostilities down and the phase one deal goes through, I don't think, those tariffs are going to go through. Market's going to just keep pushing higher. Apple's already breaking out all-time highs. The volume still needs to come in more, but I think that volume's going to come in on earnings, and I think that it'll be 256 either before earnings announcement or right after earnings announcement. So it's still got some time to move, another $10. So I think it's going to be probably be above 256, maybe hit 260, and then maybe a pullback Thursday. People taking profits because, it was not that long ago that Apple was 200. It was really not that long ago that Apple was 170 and 130. So people that are going to hit 250, that's a psychological level. 250 is a psychological level. People are going to be selling. I think people are going to be selling in this area. I think Thursday could be a pullback. So earnings is going to be good, and it's going to pop, and then it's probably going to sell off, and then you buy the dip, buy the opportunity. It's not going to be a little sell off either. I think it's going to be a nice sell off, and then that's an opportunity to buy longer term, as Apple's going to be heading towards 272, 285, and a major target of 322.46 long term. So let's see here. Yep. So let's see this longer term. Let's see, redraw this one as a channel. Yep, so if we're creating this new channel, if we're creating this new channel here, we could definitely push on to these highs, consolidate maybe, and then head towards that upper target right there. But we look like this should be pushing the 285 easily, which is about another $40. Not bad, considering that Apple didn't even announce earnings yet. So I think that's good. I think it's a good long-term play. See, Facebook. Going to Facebook. Now Facebook has earnings as well. So Apple's earnings are on Wednesday after the close, and then Facebook earnings are also on Wednesday after the close. Now, I think Facebook can consolidate this week a little bit, because I see this possible left shoulder, this head, and this possible right shoulder forming for inverse head and shoulders, and we could see it on the weekly a lot better. Here, here, and then possibly here. We had a head and shoulders, but we failed to break out. We double bottomed, we reversed and pushed up. Now we recently just broke this downtrend here, and now we're forming this right shoulder. So if this does have good earnings, which I think it will, then it should fire off and push above 196.44. And if we get above 196.44, that's extremely bullish, and we could be pushing the 208, 217, and 228. Okay, so something to watch currently right now, this 188.88 is the neckline for this inverse head and shoulders. So Above that is very bullish, but above 196.44 is extremely bullish. So if we get above 189, basically, that's bullish. That's very bullish. But if we get above 196.44, that's extremely bullish. We're going into the 200s and 220s. We're going all-time highs. That's where we're going. And if we break 220, I mean, if we break 218.62, then we're possibly going at 300 on this particular stock. So we are forming a squeeze to the upside, so that is a very strong positive. So Apple and Facebook earnings should be positive earnings. Very positive. They have very bullish charts. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, so Facebook, Apple, NVDA. So last week I suggested Valero, and Valero skyrocketed, hit all the targets, and is now at the top of a channel. So I mentioned this channel that we had here, and Valero is currently at the top of that channel now. So if you got in that Valero trade, then it is a good time. And look at that. This low, higher low, what's that? W. That W formation. I think that Valero's going to go higher, but I think it's going to have a little trouble right here. So wait until it breaks that. Wait until it breaks that. And I'll post a fairly new chart on Valero, but I think it needs a pullback some. Had a lot of volume come in, but we're right at that top of that channel. I think a pullback's coming. So let's see the pullback come first, and then we'll consider taking in another trade on Valero. All right, let's see. UTX. All right, so UDX. UDX broke out of this weekly breakout. If you guys got in around here, that's great. This trade has been working. Hit that first target. So there's the first target here, hit it, and formed a little reversal there. But I think that once it breaks that 144.50 and gets above, this thing's going to start flying. But we could definitely pull back to that 30 or 140 area and then take off. But I think that this is looking good. Look at all this buy volume. I mean, look at that monthly chart. That monthly chart is just beautiful. Look at that inverse head and shoulders. This thing is gonna fly. Look at that squeeze forming. I mean, I've been telling you guys this stock for months. It's just been consolidating. I said by 70 days out, this stock's gonna start flying. I told you guys to buy 70 days out at 127, right? It's already $20 higher. So you would be making money. But once this breaks out, we're going to 170s. We're going to 170, so another $30. So from that 127, we're going another 50 bucks. So I think it could even go even higher. But as of right now, 156 and 171, those are the targets. Nice uptrend here. And redraw that as a channel. This thing got some more room to go. It's gonna go. So beautiful charts, held nicely, held that 122 great. This one's gonna go. Do I think that a pullback could come? Yeah, 144.40 is a really good resistance. I think a pullback will come, but any pullback on this one is going to be a long-term buying opportunity. This one's going to fly. Keep this one on your radar because it's going to fly. Okay, it will fly. Okay, so it does look like a pullback's coming, but long-term buying opportunity for sure. All right, Valero, Facebook, Apple, UDX, TNX, ES, SPY. Take a look at SPY here. So SPY, we have that ascending triangle still, and we're inside of this daily rising wedge. Okay, we could go to 303, 304, 306.50, 308, and possibly 310. And then major, if we get a really good short squeeze, 308 could be it before we pull back. But I would be looking for resistance around 305, 306 area for the pullback. And when it pulls back, I think it probably pulls back to 300 area or 301. This general area right here where this uptrend is. Could it come and gap fill? Sure it can. But I don't know. I think that it should hold that area pretty well. So we'll see how it goes. But for right now, we're bullish to 303, 304, and 306. 305, 306, that's the top of this resistance here. And that's where we're going to look for weakness, okay? So until then, we're going to be bullish on SPY. All right. Now BA. Let's go to BA. So BA held this range, and it still has this inverse head and shoulders. Never broke this low. It didn't break above to be bullish, but it didn't break below to be bearish. So it's in limbo right now. So very bullish about above 375. If BA could get above 375 again, it's going to 416 and all-time highs, no doubt. But I think it consolidates for a little bit, tries to figure itself out a little bit, just like this, and then decides if it wants to go up or if it wants to go down. If we break this 330 level, then that's going to be bearish, very bearish below, and we'll go to 290. But if we hold and we break above 375, we go to 416. All right. Did I look at CAT yet? No. CAT, very bullish. I mentioned this last week. It hit all our targets. Already took out all the old targets and put new targets. But what do we see here? Right. We have that low, and then we have that higher low W pattern. That W, and look at, check this, the size of this W pattern right here. Look at the size of it, right? This is insane. This is going to be an insane move. Insane move. So let me go to the weekly so we could see that. What are we doing here? This W is not going to stop right there. Let me zoom out a little bit. This W is not going to stop right there. This is going to go to 175. This major downtrend here, broken. Huge volume on that breakout. I love to see that. See, I always talk to you guys about volume. Look at these buy volumes on CAT. Okay, indicators bullish crossover here. Okay, bullish candle, bullish volume. Love it. Over the 100 SMA. Okay. W pattern telling us that this is going to go to 170. Okay. 170, this W pattern. And I believe it. So 145, 150, 170 is coming. And after we break out of that 170, 205. 205 is coming. So what's that? 60, 65 points, right? So we're at 140 right now. 60 points would be 205, 65 points. So about 65 more points up. Cat's going to be very bullish, especially if this phase one deal goes through, then Cat's going to be running. Okay, running. Okay, and what's going to be running with Cat? DE. Okay, DE. DE is not as strong as Cat, but it's going to go with Cat. Okay, because farmers are going to benefit. And what do farmers do? They need supplies. Okay, so here we have this uptrend, and where are we hitting? We're hitting that uptrend there. So once we hit that uptrend, we should continue to 181 and 193 long term. That phase one deal needs to be signed. China made that good news this weekend and said, hey, phase one is looking good. This W pattern looking good. Like it. Cat, one of my favorite trades right now. I'm gonna be trading that one long term. That one's gonna be running. Might get some volatility in, but there's a reason why this had bad earnings and it still rallied, because they're anticipating the China deal is gonna just blow it out of the water and make them so much money. So let's not argue with it and go with it. All right, guys. Monday, bullish. Tuesday, bullish. Wednesday, bullish but choppy. Thursday, possibly bearish. Friday, possibly bearish buying opportunity. So Monday, bullish. Tuesday, bullish. Wednesday, choppy to bullish. Thursday, possibly bearish. And Friday, possibly bearish. End of day buying opportunity, or even sooner. Okay, so I think that's it. All right, guys.